Today we're going to be taking the implied textures that we have practiced drawing and putting them to use by creating some three-dimensional textured cubes. The first thing I'm going to do is write my name on my paper, and I'm going to draw 6 cubes on my paper. I'm going to very lightly split my paper into 6 sections by drawing a line down the middle of my paper and then 2 lines down it the opposite way to create my 6 kind of squares so I can evenly place my cubes. Then I'm going to draw a cube. I'm drawing it one way right here, but I'll show you an easier way that I will draw my cubes simply by drawing 2 squares and overlapping them. And then I connect the corners and erase the lines I don't want. You can see how that helps create the illusion of your cube, and you can then just erase the lines you don't want. That's probably the easiest way to create a cube that looks a little more accurate and it's not wonky. Makes it look more three-dimensional. So I can go and I'm going to fix this cube and just erase the lines I don't want. I'm going to repeat this and draw 6 cubes over my paper, 1 in each of those small sections that I created by dividing my paper up. I'm going to erase those dividing lines after I get all of my cubes drawn in. Once we get our cubes drawn in, then we'll start adding our textures. Now that I've got all of my cubes drawn, I'm going to get my texture guide that we drew yesterday and decide which textures I want to draw on my cubes. I'm going to write them down so I remember which ones I chose. I'm going to erase those labels later on, so I'm just going to write them in pencil. Now that I'm ready to start drawing my textures on my cubes, I'm going to actually just start with my pencil and I'm going to block out my textures with that before I go back in with my Sharpie and make more defined edges and give a little more detail to add to my texture. I'm going to start by just simply drawing out my textures, how we practice with my pencil. Now that I've drawn them out in pencil, I'm going to go in with my Sharpie. I've got kind of my normal tip Sharpie and my skinny Sharpie. So I'm going to use both of them throughout my texture to create different kind of lines and emphasis on different areas. So I'm going to go over my pencil lines with my normal Sharpie. Then I'm going to go into my textures with my skinny Sharpie to add a little bit more detail. Once I finish adding all of the details with my skinny Sharpie to my scale textured cube, I can move on to the next cubes and start adding those textures. I can keep going until I fill in all of my cubes. I kind of always want to start with my pencil and then go in with my thicker and skinnier Sharpies to create those different textures. When you're all done, you'll kind of see the difference of how the textures change the cube. My wood texture and my brick texture, you can really tell that it's a three-dimensional cube. It starts to lose its shape, however, with the spike, the slime, and the fluffy texture the most. I can't wait to see you guys turn your cubes into some cool textured pieces. Have fun.